Anytime you are.
Of 10 days.
Okay, everybody, the meeting will please come to order. This is a duly advertised meeting of the Joliet Zoning Board of Appeals. In our capacity, we hear petitions for relief from the strict provisions of the city ordinance. In matters of this type, the decision of this board is final. Respect that it does not go to the mayor or the city council for any further action. If you disagree with our decision, you have recourse in the court of record. We also hear petitions for variations of land use. In matters of this type, we act as an advisory committee to the mayor and city council, making a recommendation either for or against it. Final decision on land use is made by the mayor and the city council. Secretary, please call the roll.
Ms. Darley? Here. Mr. Ferguson? Mr. Graham?
Here.
Ms. Nevades? Ms. Powers?
Here.
Mr. Riggs?
Here.
Mr. Hennessy?
Here. Okay. Virgin Sales and Lease, anybody here? Petition 2016-07.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, in this case, we're dealing with Virgin Sales and Lease LLC are the applicants. The owner of the property is Hampton Mercury Investments CL. The location is 2159 West Jefferson. The request is for a variation of the allowable signage to permit a wall sign that doesn't face the street front, a 40-square-foot set of channel letters, and the purpose, the petitioner is requesting a variation to allow the addition of a wall sign on the west side of the commercial structure located at the building at 2159 West Jefferson. Site-specific information, the 207-foot by 219-foot, or slightly more than an acre site, is located on the north side of Jefferson Street, west of Hames. The 16,646 square foot frame and masonry multi-tenant commercial building was built in 1986. The property is zoned B3, which is the general business zoning. The petition was filed on January 29th. Surrounding land use and zoning is professional office zone B3 to the north, commercial B3 to the south, east, and to the west. Applicable sign regulations we're dealing with is 47-17.21 as it pertains to signs. And comments from other city departments. The Community Design Review Board discussed the request at the monthly meeting held on March the 3rd. There are no comments from city departments or other governmental agencies. The minutes are available in the planning department. And we've got a discussion. The petitioner proposes to add a 40-square-foot set of illuminated channel letters on the west wall of the Virgin Sales and Lease store. And there's something in your packet and also on the screen that depicts that. The sign will be visible to eastbound vehicular traffic. The sign will have similar appearance to the existing wall sign that faces the front. Their overall sign height will be around 15 foot, and that concludes our staff report.
Thank you. Do you swear the evidence you're about to present is the truth under penalty of law?
I do.
Name and address, please.
Chuck Lugonkar, 2159 West Jefferson.
Okay, any comments you'd like to make?
No, sir.
What is the purpose of the sign, just to have more visibility, or?
That's correct.
Is there a turn lane into that area from Jefferson? There is.
Yes, there is.
Any other questions or comments from the board? Is there anybody in the audience wishing to speak in favor? Is there anybody opposed? Chair closes petition, asks the board for discussion and a vote.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion second to approve the petition. Please call the roll.
Mr. Graham?
Aye.
Ms. Powers?
Aye.
Mr. Riggs?
Aye.
Ms. Darley? Aye. Mr. Hennessy?
Aye. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, Family and Friends Adult Daycare. Anybody here?
In this particular case, the petitioner was here, but the staff is recommending that this be tabled for 30 days to give the neighborhood services staff a little bit more time to do an investigation on the little problem that they have there, and they would like to look into it in greater detail and then report back to us and then to you at next month's meeting. So staff is requesting that this be
What
tabled.
was the problem?
There was it's a daycare center, but apparently somebody was spending the night.
Was what?
Spending the night. That wasn't part of the original agreement, so they're just looking in to see if that's justifiable or not. It doesn't appear to be the case because there was not a living unit ever created in the property, but they just want to get in there and verify all
Yeah, I
that.
don't want to get into too many details on it, but in the information that was given us there and in their statements, they stated that there was a liability and policy from West Bend Mutual, and it expired in 12/2013. It stated that that was for consumers or services coverage. I'm just wondering if they have a general liability policy that covers medical and for
The petitioners are back in the room if you'd like to. Usually,
No, I
I
just want to make sure that the legal department looks in there, make sure they have adequate insurance and that
Yeah.
what it covers.
yeah, and I would imagine that for them to get their license through the state of Illinois, that they would need coverage.
Okay,
Up to date, we probably have an old copy of it.
okay. Are you the people representing? The staff has made a recommendation because of some questions that they have that this be tabled. And there's a motion and a second on the floor, and we're going to be voting on it. Unless you want to.
Table. I'll move to
We have a
table.
motion
Second.
and a second to table to the next regularly scheduled meeting, which will be next month. Call the roll.
Ms. Darley? Aye. Mr. Graham?
Aye.
Ms. Powers?
Aye.
Mr. Riggs?
Aye.
Mr. Hennessy?
Aye. Okay, Tyrone Smigiel.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, in this case, we're dealing with 2016-09. The owner is Nasheed Mashoud Avid Properties LLC. The location is at 802 Wilcox. The request is for a special use permit to allow the operation of a retail thrift store and an existing commercial strip center. The purpose, the petitioner is requesting the special use to allow the operation of a retail thrift store and a small storefront space. The site is part of the one-story commercial strip center located at 802 Wilcox, which is the northeast corner of Wilcox and Ruby. The property is located in the Cunningham neighborhood, just east of Rayner Avenue. The tenant space is currently vacant. Site-specific information. The site consists of a 15,274 square foot brick commercial building built on a slab in 1958. The lot size is approximately 18,718 square foot. The site is zoned B1 neighborhood business. The case was filed on February 12th. Surrounding land use and zoning, the surrounding land use, single-family residential zoned R2 to the north, single-family and commercial R2 and B1 neighborhood business to the east and west. Commercial use zone B1 is located south of the site. Applicable regulations we're dealing with is 47-13.2A, which is the criteria of issuance of a special use permit. The Community Design Review Board reviewed this matter on March the 3rd. The minutes of that meeting are available in the Planning Division. And then under the discussion portion, the petitioner plans to locate his for-profit retail thrift store in the Westgate Shopping Center. The petitioner's thrift shop will include clothes, shoes, household goods, furniture, and a few larger items like bicycles. The thrift store is approximately 17 foot by 63, roughly over 1,000 square foot. The petitioner will provide off-site storage for the items which will eventually be sold at the store. The business hours will be typically from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday. The store will stay open occasionally until 8 p.m. A special use permit is required in this instance to accommodate the sale of used goods in the B1 neighborhood district. Adequate off-street parking is available to service the thrift shop. And then we've got a set of conditions if you desire to approve this, that the special use shall be here and terminated and lapsed if it's not in effect in 180 days. If it's ever declared a public nuisance, it's subject to a possible rehearing and revocation, and that the business conforms to all the applicable building code and business license requirements now and into the future. And that concludes our staff report.
Thank you. Do you swear the evidence you're about to present is the truth under penalty of law?
I do.
Name and address, please.
The name is Tyrone Smigiel, S-M-E-G-O. I live at 920 North Hickory for the last 28 years.
Okay, comments you'd like to make, sir?
I'm just anxious to get the place open so I can start generating income to pay my bills.
Do you operate any other stores?
No, this would be my first venture.
This is a for-profit, it's not a charitable.
No,
Okay, do you take things on consignment?
no, I will not.
So where do you get the merchandise?
Well, I've Before this, I've been doing a lot of flea marketing. So I find good deals at flea markets, I go to garage sales, and I've been dealing with a
You
storage.
purchase
unit.
and then resell, is that basically it?
Will you be purchasing
storage.
any gold or used jewelry or anything?
Well, I've got certain types of, stuff like the family has handed down to me and stuff, nothing significant as far as gold and silver.
You won't be buying and
Will be
selling
buying
gold.
gold or
You won't be-
selling
No.
No,
It says it will occasionally be open until 8 PM. What is occasionally?
well, the summers, a lot of people going to this shopping center. There's a lot of activity there. I hate to miss out on anything that, I would say that 3 days a week.
Like the weekends or?
Well, probably on a Saturday, I might stay open till 8.
The convenience store is open till probably 9 o'clock,
Yeah.
and they do generate a lot of traffic. I've been there many times, and especially, they seem to get busier later in the evening. Like from supper time on, they seem to be very busy there.
What was in that space before?
I think that was the ceramics people.
Yeah, they had a ceramic shop in there, and they held classes for pottery and so forth, and I guess she had some kilns in there and so forth, so.
And you have the stuff, all this stuff that you've been accumulating now, that's all in storage somewhere? Or do you
Right,
have
I've
it at
got
your
two-
house, or?
I've got 2 different storage units, and I've got some of the stuff in my home.
How long of a lease do you have?
How long of a lease?
Yeah.
Well, it's a year with the option of picking it up the next year.
1-year lease with an option?
Right.
And how many employees?
I'll be running it myself with assistance from my daughter,
Okay.
who
Any
has
further
2
questions from the board?
children.
Anybody in the audience wishing to speak in favor? Anyone opposed? Chair closes the petition to the floor and asks the board for discussion and a motion.
I'll move for approval.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to approve the petition. Please poll the board.
Mr. Riggs?
Aye.
Ms. Darley?
Aye.
Mr. Graham?
Aye.
Ms. Powers?
Aye.
Mr. Hennessy?
Aye. Okay, all those in favor of approving the minutes of the last meeting signify by saying aye. It's approved.
All right.
You got it.
Can I open?
Doesn't that go to
Yep.
council?
Today.
Special use.
When open on
permit,
St.
yeah, it goes
Patrick's
to
Day, you
council.
might get looted.
Yes, it does.
So you're past this hurdle, you have one more hurdle, you have to get through the city council.
And this is the public hearing, so if there were any neighborhood opposition, this is where it would be, and
This is the
Obviously, you
official
have
one,
none.
yeah.
Do I have
How's
another?
that? That's it? Harmless.
20 days, or?
At their next
yeah,
council
talk to
meeting.
Barb, she'll tell you the schedule.
You're welcome.
Any other comments by the board? All those in favor of approving the minutes of the last meeting signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those in favor of adjournment, so signify.
Aye.
Aye.